are arriving, cribs on thriving. Come on. We are arriving, cribs on thriving. Let's go. What makes them thrive? What gives them drive? Keeps us occupied. It can't be denied. Dayan and Fabi taking you for a ride. Front door to backyard, bedside to fireside. Showing you things to get you inspired. So sit back and relax and take a look inside. We are arriving, cribs on thriving. Come on. We are arriving, cribs on thriving. Yeah. We are arriving, cribs on thriving. Get real. We are arriving, cribs on thriving.
After you, young before old.
Wow.
Beauty before age. There we go.
There you go. Well, here we are at the home of ExoCoBio.
Look how impressive this is. It's
Amazing.
so big.
Surrounded by so many different manufacturing plants, basically at the home of the KFDA.
Right, and all the med tech is in this area. So it's an area of innovation, certainly in Korea and probably for the world.
And I probably can bet that you know a lot of exosomes that are out there right now, which are a dime a dozen, are being made in a facility like this.
I get a call about it once a week from another company with another exosome product, and they all talk about them, but I'm not sure they're made in a facility like this. And that's why we're here, to really see like how it's done and why this is a differentiator.
And so you can imagine that many cosmeceuticals are not created in this kind of standard.
And exosomes are so hot right now, but really what are exosomes? And we have some ideas, but let's see how exosomes are actually purified and made and share with you all what exosomes really are.
And what are the questions that you can ask to find out the difference? Let's go find out.
Welcome.
Thank
Hello.
you so much for having us.
Welcome to ExoCoBio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to
My
be
pleasure.
here.
Yeah. Very nice meeting you. Welcome to
Thank you
ExoCoBio.
so much.
Thank you.
We see you all around the world, but now we actually
Yes.
get to be here at the manufacturing plant. We've been wanting to do this for so long and get a better idea of
Just
exosomes.
walk into the world first exosome only CGMP facility. This is it.
Yes, please.
So here, because of the facility, they try to control the dust. You have to kind of change your shoes with the little slippers right here.
Great, I love it. Adjusted for size for me.
Are you okay with that? Because you're most of the shoes.
I can manage. For the sake of quality assurance,
Maybe.
I can manage.
So this is the home office. How long has this facility been here for?
Actually, we started construct this building about more than 3 years ago.
3 years ago it was completed, and all of the exosomes are made here.
Actually, we are the biggest producer of stem cell exosomes in the world now.
The biggest producer of exosomes?
Yeah, especially stem cell exosomes.
Stem cell derived
Yeah,
exosomes.
But we have another exosome based on genetic manipulation.
Genetic manipulation of exosomes,
Yeah.
okay?
Wow, so really going into the therapeutic space,
Yes.
genetically engineered, so you don't even have to think or consider or worry about any type of human possible infection that could arise or anything that's human derived.
Sure. It's very safe. It's
Right.
it's brand new technology, but it's proved by other scientists to manipulate inside or outside of exosomes. And for example, we can attach one specific molecule like interleukin-12 on the surface of exosomes, and then we can deliver it.
The future of cancer treatments
gonna
right
be
here.
a very
Wonderful.
big
It's not just
future.
cancer treatments, right? It's like neurological
Anything.
treatments. It's really amazing where the future could go with exosomes, and your facility here is created
With that in mind.
with that in mind.
So this is what's available now. We offer to the market. Right now, our main focus being working closely with our medical providers around the world. We believe that we have about 15,000 clinics and medical providers that are offering our exosome product around the world now.
15,000
Yes.
clinics around
Yeah.
the world are
Yes.
using your exosomes.
Yes. And then most of the product you see it here, we have BENEV branded one focusing on North America.
Are you one of the biggest exosome companies in the
I
world?
do believe we are the biggest.
Yeah,
The biggest?
Yeah.
definitely.
Amazing.
And then we did it in a way so that it's focusing on the building a relationship, just like how Byung talked about it. You know, launching our product through the medical providers, so that it's not out there in Sephora or department store, because the messaging we try to get out there is somewhat complicated because it's got a lot of science. The only way we can communicate the establishment of the awareness is through our medical partners, medical doctors.
Professionally distributed medical grade products, guys.
Yes,
Okay.
through our medical providers that are out there around the world. So we've got BENEV branded product for North America, and then we've got ExoCoBio with AAC branded products for Asia and Europe. And then we are now also thinking about expanding it for the future to the end user market. But for now, we're focusing only on the medical
So is it the
professional.
same exosomes in both of those brands?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so for those in the U.S., you have these ampules. They come 5 in a box, essentially medical grade to be applied immediately after laser resurfacing.
Yes.
And then you also have a hairline as
Yes.
well, distributed in the U.S.
Yes, as well. So we've got ERC, we call Exosome Regenerative Complex, and we've got Exosome Regenerative Complex Plus. One is more for the skin, one is more for the scalp.
Great.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Why is one?
We just have higher concentrations of the exosome in it, and then also we add some of the additional ingredient with some of the growth factors and the copper peptides
For the
just
hair.
to create the better condition around it. So add more nutrients that are linked to the scalp.
Great.
I wouldn't mind trying some of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
We'll use it at home when we get home. Right, so outside of the United States, tell me a little bit, you got this award this year on the intimate care line.
True, yeah. Actually, we call this, we have a little different strategy from the United States because some Asians prefer a very specific product for specific area. So we try to have 3 key products under the brand of ASC. This is for skin, scalp, and the intimate area. Many women are suffering from inflammation. They need regeneration, especially after menopause.
Right.
But there is no nice product. But there are a few technology available like stem cells, PRP, steroid, or energy-based devices. But they are a little limited in terms of efficacy. But we found exosomes plus other ingredients will give a lot of benefits to
It's
help
topically
people.
applied, right?
Definitely. Topically or a minimally invasive way or a combination with the energy-based devices.
I want to see how you make it.
I know. 'Cause we want to be able to make sure, prove that it,
Yeah,
it
right.
works, right?
Yeah.
So we want to see how that.
Right, I mean, you hear a lot about many different exosome companies that are out there, many different sources that they come from, whether it's adipocyte derived, whether it's umbilical cord derived, whether it's
Bone marrow.
or
Wharton's
platelets.
jelly or
Yes.
platelets, yeah.
And so I know you've done a lot of work to determine that adipocyte stem cell derived is probably the best
True.
out of the other exosomes that are out there. Tell
Well, it's
us,
best for certain reasons, right?
right, tell us why.
Yeah, we found that maybe there are 2 main reasons. We found that adipose stem cells and their exosomes are kind of fundamental layer of our skin. So we thought naturally we can think that adipose stem cell and their exosomes are the best for our skin because skin is our the biggest organ in our body, and they are protecting us from outside invader. That's why they need to regenerate always.
So the
in our
signals
skin.
that they make are probably a more natural fit for something applied topically
True.
for the epidermis and
Yes,
dermis.
I think so.
Well, think about when we do fat transfer, we're transferring all these adipose stem cells.
And how the skin changes.
The skin looks great after
Amazing.
fat transfer. right?
Yes.
It's already proven. And other scientists found that adipose stem cell exosomes are containing the biggest amount of 3 important growth factors like HGF, BFGF, or VEGF.
So for those that are watching, so PDGF, so platelet-derived growth factors, one of the number 1 excreted, and then you said VEGF, so
VEGF, yeah.
vascular endothelial
Vascular,
growth
yeah,
factor,
yeah.
right? And then you said the third
HGF.
one, so human-derived growth factor.
It's a hepatocyte growth factor.
Hepatocyte growth factor,
But it's
okay.
it has a multiple biological function,
Okay,
critical for our physiology, sometimes our health.
okay.
And where does the donor fat come from? And how do you
I
Yeah,
think
so
we
your
should
source.
save that question when you actually go see
okay.
the
All
master
right,
stem
guys.
cell
There's
bank.
more for us to see.
Yes.
So we get to go behind the curtain
Yes.
to see
There
it.
you go.
Yeah, just inside this
Yeah.
floor.
You ready to
Right.
go?
Do you know where your exosomes are sourced? Very important. You'll
Yes.
find out. All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to our new facility here.
Very sterile facility.
Thank you
Very
so much.
clean
Can
facility.
we just comment how good you look?
Thank you.
I like the marshmallow look. It took 20 minutes to put these outfits on. I mean, it's incredible when you think about like all that we had to go through to come in here.
Right. Yeah.
And it just shows the care, the sterility that's necessary.
And to keep this facility clean.
Yeah.
Okay, please let me share our first room here. You can see the cell storage.
Perfect.
So you can see a lot of cell banks or nitrogen tanks here. Let's go inside.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay,
Young, why are we dressed like this?
it's about sterilization.
Sterilization.
Yeah, we don't want anything outside from to inside.
And who requires this?
Where it's a standard of
Standard.
GMP. Because you know, we control everything. We need to control air especially. So it's about particulate matters. We have to minimize any particulate matter, especially from outside.
Okay.
No particulate matter from outside. So I mean, we are really naked under this.
True. You have to take shower actually
Yeah.
before getting into it. So this nitrogen tank, they are supposed to contain a lot of master cell bank from human donors.
And
So,
you have 4 master,
we have 4 master cell bank, but
Uh-huh.
we have here just 1.
1,
Yeah,
okay?
3 are outside now, but you be careful. This is nitrogen, liquid
So
nitrogen.
all of these exosomes essentially are coming from 4 master cell banks.
True.
Very
yeah.
important.
But these days, we are using only 1 master cell bank.
Okay.
Because 1 master cell bank can last for 10 years, maybe. So
10 years, guys, from
then
this one.
That can provide a very consistent quality of stem cells as well as their exosomes. So you can see that around inside here, there are many vials, plastic vials. They are
Oh.
containing certain number of stem cells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stem cells. Okay. From fat. From
From
adipose.
fat tissue, and after liposuction,
Right.
we are isolating pure stem cells, not other cells. We remove everything except for stem cells, and then we expand those stem cells, and then that's it.
How do you remove the other cells?
Actually, we have a culture process.
Culture process.
During the culture process, other cells are supposed to die, and then we do a serial culture to select pure stem cell.
Wonderful. And then from here, where do we go?
So now we have cells. Now
Yes.
we have to culture stem cells
Yes.
to get conditioned media.
Right.
So it's cell culture room.
The
So
cell
culture the
culture.
stem cells to get conditioned media.
Correct.
Okay.
So we took one of those vials, and in one of those vials is in one of these guys, if you can imagine that. Okay.
And there's cells in there, right? It's adipose cells.
Adipose-derived stem cells.
We are using a very specific container to
Okay.
protect those cells
Great.
to be processed inside for
Okay.
further cell culture or cell expansion. Okay.
For cell expansion. All right. So it's
But
going,
it goes through here, and that gets sterilized again, and we go through that way.
is it
True,
going to
yeah,
get
separated.
sterilized?
We are supposed to enter this gate, this door, but this one should go through pass box.
Okay.
Perfect.
Because it's
All
our
right.
door.
Okay, let's move. Now we are going to cell culture room and exosome isolation room.
So
Okay.
the cell culture room, the
me.
second isolation room, guys. Okay, and we've taken that little vial of stem cells, and now we're going to make it expand to what will eventually become 50 liters of conditioned
50
media.
liters, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this is your real stem cell culture room here.
Wow.
We have a lot of benches here, centrifuge, microscope, and you can see that a lot of CO2 incubators. In that incubator, a lot of stem cells are growing for expansion.
And how long does it take for those stem cells to grow, their process?
4 weeks.
4
Yes.
weeks.
4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have this kind of CO2 incubators. These are just small scale. It's kind of beginning stage. Very small.
That the cells are in there.
Yeah. Cell culture flask and vessel. But they are small scale at the beginning. We start like this. But we will have a much bigger flask.
And
over
guys,
time.
like pay attention. These are all controlled for temperature,
True.
humidity. It's
Yeah.
not that they just grow. I mean, they're optimized in the environment that they're growing in.
You see the pink liquid, right?
Yep.
It's cell culture media.
Yes.
It's to provide CO2 and nutrients for cell growth.
Yes.
And it's like how can I say, blood in our
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then 이거 세포 들어있어요? 이거 현미경 올려보세요. Let's try to see cells under microscope.
Right.
So what are we looking at?
Yeah, this is a real human adipose stem cell look like. Yeah, and then you can see a vacant area, right?
Yes.
But when they grow, they will fill the
So this allows you to actually see, this is what adipocyte-derived stem cells look like, you know, in real life.
And importantly, when they grow, they are releasing exosomes too.
They're releasing
Of
exosomes.
course, the conditioned
Yeah,
medium
true.
gets
But it's
rich.
small amount. But we will expand a lot. 큰 플라스크가 있나 하나? You know, exosomes, they are very tiny, 100 nanometers.
Yeah.
We cannot see with
them.
any normal microscope.
The electron
Yeah,
microscope.
only electron microscope image can image them. Yeah, can show that.
Wonderful.
Yeah, optically, you cannot see.
Okay, so once you've determined that you have a certain amount of adipocyte stem cells, or is 4 weeks what you landed on? How did you land to 4 weeks?
We observe every day. We have to check their growth every day, and at certain confluence, like 80%, we terminate. We stop.
You
Stop.
stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
stop cell culture, and then we collect conditioned media.
You collect and what do you do with the stem cells?
We remove.
You
We
remove
dispose.
them. You dispose of the stem
We are
cells.
not. It's a great question actually, because we are not cell-based treatment. We are cell-free treatment.
Right, so this is very
Cell-free.
important. This is a
Yes.
cell-free treatment. So all these adipocytes that you see here, guys, are going to be disposed of, and all that we're taking from it is the conditioned media. And then where does that conditioned media go?
So this is our next room for
Okay.
exosome isolation here.
Okay, so now we've cultured the cells, we've
Mhm.
taken from that conditioned media,
Mhm.
and we've brought that conditioned media here to extract the exosomes.
True. Yeah.
And tell us, what system are you using to extract those and isolate those exosomes?
We are using kind of ultra filtration.
Okay,
Specifically, we call this TFF, tangential flow filtration.
tangential
flow
flow
filtration.
filtration. Okay,
Yeah, so you can see the pink liquid is like conditioned media, and this is, you can see, come over here. You can see a long, how can I say? Long
cylinder.
column, cylinder.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a filtration device.
That is the
Yeah.
filtration. And then this tangential
Yeah.
Flow.
filtration flow system allows you to get a high yield of exosomes that are also of great quality.
Yeah,
Pure.
yeah.
Okay, and so how long would then it take to use TFF with one of those 50 liters of
Actually, it's just a one-day process.
one-day
Yeah,
process?
because it's a very high yield, high capacity instrument.
Okay, and so now that you've taken those exosomes, flow where? Where do they go?
Yeah, this tank, this small plastic.
That's your
tank.
goal, guys.
Yeah.
That's the exosome.
Yeah, this is
Those
a
are the
400. Now we will have a 500 ml from 50 liter each because we use 100, almost 100 concentration while we are separating exosomes.
And of those, in that 500 mLs, how many exosomes will you have?
So 500x, maybe a 3 billion.
3 billion.
Wow.
Okay, come over here. This is our next step.
All right, so we've just seen them get extracted. Now we're going to see them get filled.
So after isolating all those exosomes,
Yes.
we have to formulate.
Okay.
And then with the final formulation, by adding excipient, then we have to fill them into those vials.
Okay.
It's about drug development for regenerative medicine for patients in clinics. For drug development, we are based on frozen, but for cosmetics, we are based on lyophilization for now.
And then just to clarify, for those that sometimes take away lyophilized as it might lose its effect, do we see any loss of effect when it's lyophilized?
No, I don't think so, because lyophilization, you can think of
Yeah.
proteins are very stable after lyophilization. You have to remove water as much as possible to stabilize all those ingredients. So it's the best way, we believe. But
It goes from frozen to vapor without ever having a liquid phase. That's lyophilization, right?
true, freeze dry. This vial is a very expensive specific vial to contain exosomes here.
Okay.
And then you can see that this device, it's a laser device. Before we cap here, you can see that here we have to penetrate this part, and then we fill this wire like this, and then we cap and the laser seal.
And it's laser sealed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then ultimately this comes in a powdered formulation, and that's what somebody will mix in their office.
In the future, we are thinking, but at present, it should be frozen.
Okay.
Frozen.
So I mean, guys, this is the manufacturing process of this is essentially something similar to one of the most popular drugs in aesthetics, right? So this is not just, we think of exosomes and we talk about them so flippantly, but in fact, if they're properly manufactured, they're undergoing strenuous steps and rigorous scientific steps.
So we passed all the field wires to the last step of the visual inspection.
So now they get visually inspected, guys, just for quality control.
So this is the last step, I
The
think.
final step, guys. You've seen all the steps that it's gone through.
So after filling those wires, we have to make a quick visual inspection under this device,
Okay.
and to check any particular matter existing or not.
So
Okay.
this is done by hand.
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's not automated yet.
It's not an automated
Yeah.
process yet.
But sometimes human eyes are much better than.
And how many of these have you sold? How many of these actual vials have you sold?
Per batch, it's like 1,000 buyers per batch. 1,000 buyer means 200 patients maybe.
Okay, but you've treated so many more. How many patients have you treated?
Our cosmetic products have generated 1.3 million cases.
Cases. Now, since at home in the United States, many people are actually have more of the cosmetic utilization, the serum, the ampules. Does it go pretty much through very similar process? Where does it branch off from what we did and saw today?
This whole step is about the production of highly purified exosomes.
Okay.
But for cosmetic products, we have developed a different formulation,
Okay.
optimized for our skin.
Yes.
And also we need to produce much more products, buyers,
Yes.
and we have set up a new production line on the second floor for
Okay.
mass manufacturing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you will
wonderful.
see. You will
So
see on the
mass
second floor.
manufacturing is on the second floor for cosmetics, and we'll go see that next.
True.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's made me realize that not all exosomes are created equal.
This facility is really for the future.
Yeah, I think so. We are trying to be a leader to create exosome-based industry.
Right. Well, you've definitely set yourself apart as the gold standard. And with that, definitely always question where your exosomes are coming from.
Time to get
Yeah.
out of these suits.
I
Can you
think-
can you see our mission statement? Our exosome, your
Your
future.
future. Ah.
There you go, guys.
All right, I am super excited to sit down with Ethan Min, the CEO of BENEV. I've met Ethan at many meetings over the last few years, and he always tells me, Steve, we got the best exosomes. And I'm trying to understand a better idea of why he has the best exosomes. He goes, if you really want to learn about it, come to Korea, and I'll show you why we have the best exosomes. So I'm now here in Korea with the chance to sit down with Ethan to learn more about why the exosomes that he distributes throughout the world, most of North America and Europe, are the best. So Ethan, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
So let's talk about, of all the products you have, we're here because of exosomes, and that seems to be something you have a lot of passion around.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your exosomes and ExoCoBio, where we are today. What's that relationship?
Yes. So 7 years ago, with the BENEV, we had our own lab. They're manufacturing growth factors and then again researching. And then our scientists and myself were looking into the exosome. We thought that this could be a future that could replace the growth factor industry, which already kind of became pretty big, and then it was about to be more of a commodity. So transition from growth factor to exosome was very natural because again, both are based on producing a conditioned media, right? And how you extract exosome from the conditioned media was what we were working on. And then we found out that that was very differentiated from growth factors, where it now has that bilipid membranes, right? And then it's got a lipid generating enzyme, it's got the microRNAs, it's got the growth factors all
These
together.
are all inside the exosome.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we thought of different way of basically commercializing this product then, and that's when I met Byung.
So is this 7 years ago?
Yeah.
So this is before, right now exosomes are so popular, everyone's talking about them. There's not a conference that doesn't like highlight them today, but 7 years ago you recognized this.
Yep, there's no one really out there looking at the things in the way I looked at it. And then Byung showed up, and then he...
Byung being the CEO of ExoCoBio.
Yeah, and then he showed up, and Ethan and I just started off a company called ExoCoBio, and I'm focusing on R&D, and then I've got an investment, because Byung have many of financial network connections, so he was able to generate funding behind it. And I'd like to partner with you. And I was like, wow, because I knew it's gonna cost us a lot of money to basically build that facility that we're in now, and then having that commitment to invest in a study that we were required. This was 7 years ago. And Byung kept his commitment. Now he has published 23 publications with his team of R&D.
23 publications on your exosome
products.
That's unusual.
And a lot of it is a lot of groundwork, right?
Bench work.
In vitro, in vivo, ex vivo, and then follow up with the clinical trials. And then obviously that's one thing, and then that was his commitment that I will do this. And another commitment is I will have this facility that we can have a quality product that are very effective, right? And my job then, when I saw is that, all I gotta do is basically brand it, market it, and then sell. Where Byung could support us with all the things that are very necessary, right? As an ethical company, the real science, right? So that commitment of science, technology, and then my experience in the regulatory sort of combined together, and then sales and marketing. So it became a really good partnership.
You're talking about regulatory a little bit, because there's a lot of exosomes out there. Now, exosomes in the US can only be used topically, they're only approved topically, is that right?
I would say topical skincare.
Skincare.
Not topical. Right. A lot of companies say topical, but from FDA standpoint, it could be topical drug, it could be topical medical device, right? So I like to say out loud that we are a topical skincare because that's what's categorized under, right? The reason I say that because there are all these misperception that a lot of companies, I believe, they're creating. Somehow their exosomes are to be used for therapeutic purposes, right? And don't get me wrong, I do believe in the power of exosome. But as we stand now, the only way the exosome could be distributed and utilized, right, be commercialized is as a topical skincare only. Way we introduced to the market because we wanted to make sure that the user understand the science behind it and the efficacy behind it. We chose our medical providers as a partner. So we're distributing our products through our medical providers, and they're using our exosome as an immediate post-care of ablative procedures they're doing, CO2, erbium, thulium, RF microneedling.
Post-laser also? Post-surgery too, if I'm using
yes,
it.
as a topical.
Okay, so there's so many exosomes out there, and once a week we get a call from another exosome company. Many of them are making claims that perhaps are in the gray area. Yeah. How is your exosome different? How do you differ? It's adipose-derived stem cells, but there are others too. Why is yours so much better?
I think I don't want to brag about our product in a sense where it doesn't make sense, but the way I always try to communicate to them is our commitment to the science, commitment to the technology, and then a commitment to the regulatory compliance. I think that kind of differentiates us from everybody else that's out there. When people come out and call you basically, we have this exosome. What did they tell you about their science? Well, we have this great science, but how do you validate that, right? Do you have a peer-reviewed published paper? If they say, we don't do it because we don't want other people to find out. But that's already not scientific, right? If you're scientific, then you should have to have an evidence-based proof, right? I think a lot of companies that are out there lacking in that. It's just that we've got these covert operations that no one knows about, but I'm telling you this is real. Versus we've been doing research, this is the investment money goes into, right? This is government funding that we raise. This is the actual publications that we proclaim out there. This is the science behind it. Let us know your thought, and then being reviewed and published.
And that's why you wanted us here, because you wanted us to see the science behind your exosomes. Okay.
And then the second element is technology. A lot of companies say, oh, we have this cool way to produce. No one has this technology, but how do you validate that, right? Only way now in US is to go through the patent process. Do you really own a technology of your own, or are you just using somebody else's, right? We have a 56, right? Now we're adding 6 more patents globally. We have 8 US patents on the process, right? And then indication of how to utilize exosomes, right? That's what I call technology. And then thirdly, again, I cannot emphasize enough the regulatory compliance. We don't want to miscommunicate, mispresent ourselves. And I know that as limited as it can be, we're only saying what's available and what we can say. I think it's very important that our product is utilized as a topical skincare purposes, and then we as a company communicate that, and that we make sure that our doctors who's utilizing our products communicate to the patient. I think that's very, very important.
What are the challenges being an exosome company and a skincare company as well in the US or in any of the markets that you're in right now?
Wow, I've never seen a technology or concept gotten spread so fast. Last 20 years of my career experiences, right? Especially in the skincare realm or medical aesthetic, right? It took probably 15 years to get populated, right? It took a filler, and you probably experienced it when it came out. A lot of, plastic surgeons were like, why would we do the filler, right? But it took them a good amount of time period to actually establish and recognize it. And for instance, growth factors, it took a while, for it to be established. Now, exosome, within the last 2-3 years, it spread so fast. And I was like, wow. And then what you find out is basically that, are they real, right? Is the source that they're utilizing with, is this company really have what they said they have, right? So I see a lot of misperceptions that are created, probably in part I'm involved with, by the industry.
Does that challenge you also, these misperceptions?
Yes.
Because you have to overcome those misperceptions?
Yes. And so I like to network with exosome companies that are out there. First, yes, I want to make sure that I've started first. I want to tell them, right? I want to guide them so that this is the way you can do it so they can stay out of FDA's
So
radar.
healthy competition is good.
Yeah, I think that is very important.
So exosomes are popular now, as you said. They're growing so fast. What's the future of exosomes and what's the future of BENEV as you see it?
7 years ago, this is exactly what we talked about with Pyong when we sat down. And then let's have a go-to-market ready products. Let's focus on medical aesthetic providers, right? And I'd like to introduce that as how we design it as a post-care. I think that have accomplished a certain level of recognition. And then I think we are definitely leading with exosome within the medical aesthetic market. Now we're trying to interact more with the user, the patients. So we will be launching products that we could basically get close to our patient and take home products, which I think is very important. As you probably discussed briefly with Byung, I think that therapeutic elements is very important when it comes to exosome. And then there are about 30,000 published paper, right, in the last 5 years on exosomes. That's more than published paper for the toxin, right, that out there. That 25 publication of the toxins, but now there's 30,000, right? I think that shows something that FDA would recognize, and then there will be more company pushing it for a therapeutic indications and possibly get approval for the drugs or biologics. So we are far from it, but we're certainly in it. And then again, Byung and his team is dedicated to basically continue to push the envelope when it comes to these therapeutic exosome could become something, right? But it's very challenging. We are now looking into getting a topical drug, not an injectable exosome, because we know how difficult it is to get injectable exosome, either or IV. So I think one way we're looking at right now, basically, maybe we can have a topical drug exosome products for dermatitis or a psoriasis or rosacea. There might be
So
a
right
faster
now,
route. Yeah.
BENEV and your exosomes are an after procedure use in a doctor's office, but you foresee the future of having a skincare line
Yes.
with your exosomes.
Yeah.
And then on the horizon could be a topical therapeutic
Yes.
for dermatitis
Yeah,
or
yeah.
dermatological conditions. And then way ahead in the future,
Yeah.
even a therapeutic. And I know Byung has touched on that a little
Yeah.
bit. And this facility is created
Yes.
and established and ready to
For that.
push that forefront,
Yes,
to
yes.
push that forward.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
So there you have it. We're at the tipping point of exosomes. And here with the CEO of BENEV, Ethan Min, and ExoCoBio, we're really pioneering that pathway forward. And that's why we're so glad to be here. And Ethan, thanks so much for inviting us.
Thank you so much for being out here. And again, the dream comes true. Finally, you're here.
Yeah, we've been
I'm
talking
very
a while.
happy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow, that was amazing. wasn't it?
Amazing, yes. I didn't
Thank you so
realize that
much.
there was so much involved when it comes to exosomes, especially in a market where you see a new company every week.
I learned so much this trip, didn't you?
I learned so much, and you saw it live here, guys. So in 15 years, who knows, you might be going for your IV infusions for both longevity and health span.
Less than 10 years, I think.
Less than 10 years. All right, he said it.
All right, thank you so much. We had a great time. We really appreciate it.
My honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for coming.
and thank you all for listening. I hope you really enjoyed this. We certainly did.
And I hope it inspires you for what the future holds.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.